Hey you guys, we're getting ready to do from Shirley's Cottage, which I already actually filmed, but Jim's waiting for me, which you'll hear about in the video. And I just ate some peanut butter. But I forgot to tell you, in case I don't have an actual Black Thread studio tomorrow, it's just video from today, I wanted to tell you who won the Guess on My Lip. It's Judy. She won, she guessed correctly. It was lipstick. I have, as I'm getting older, I'm finding that my lips are getting thinner. That's a true thing. It really happens. And I think I was really trying to outline my lips. And since we've been wearing masks, who's used to wearing lipstick or even looking at yourself with lipstick on? So anyway, it was lipstick. It was dried up leftover lipstick. So thanks for playing if you tried to guess. It could have been any three of those because I really wasn't sure until I looked in the mirror really good. But Judy, I think it's Judy B. Thank you for guessing. And what I need you to do is email me your information at blackthreadstudio@yahoo.com so that I can get your tassel mailed out to you. There might be a few other goodies in there too. So congratulations. I'm so happy you won the tassel, and you guys, thanks for playing. So I'm headed out the door, but you can watch from Shirley's Cottage, okay? Hey everybody, good Saturday. It's July 17th, 2021, and it's Kelly here to do from Shirley's Cottage, where I read from my mom's columns that she wrote for the Hometown News, Cambridge newspaper for many, many years. And last week we did the journal, the junk journal. So I've already put today's column in here, and I'm going to read from that, but I wanted to just show you a couple things that I did. It was awkward for me to try to tie this off last week, but what I decided to do is I'm just kind of wrapping that around and keeping it closed like that. It's easy to get in and out of. The other thing that I did was I took off, I took, if you remember, the ring binders off of another fabric book that I had, and it had a lot of ribbon on it. It was too many ribbon to even open up the book after I started putting new, columns in here. So I took a lot of the ribbons off. So I just wanted to say, limit the ribbons that you have on here so you have enough room to open up the book, and or you can add bigger ring binders, which I'm probably going to end up doing as I keep going through here. So the other thing I did, I know that says SAT, but that's my mom's initials, Shirley Ann Teskey, and I just decided to put those on the back. And then the other thing I did, because I believe in this, when I was teaching, I talked about it and taught it, but I really think that you should label and sign all your work. What I didn't do was I was going to write July 2021 in here, but this is just the inside of the back page, and I glued a couple yo-yos with my Black Thread Studio label in it, and 2 yo-yos, one for me and one for my mom. So I guess we'll get ready reading from Shirley's Cottage. I always want to say, in case, excuse me, it's a little bright. In case there's some new viewers here, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it so much, and I'm having fun doing this, and my hope is that you just have fun being here with me. So I say it all the time, but I guess I'll just keep saying it because in case you don't know or you haven't watched any of the other from Shirley's Cottage, again, these are articles that my mom, in her retirement, she wrote articles for the newspaper. If you go back and watch some of the earlier videos, especially where I actually sit and talk with my mom, you can hear about how she got into doing that. But yeah, I just want to honor my mom by reading her articles, and she does watch these, and I know she has fun hearing me read from her columns. Okay, I did not get the little ring things that you put in on your papers to keep them from tearing out. I have torn already one of the thinner papers. That was before I took out some of the ribbon and it was in there so tight, but I am definitely going to do that just because it'll keep everything more secure. So I just thought I'd show you a couple that I put in. I have to go through and cut them all out that I've already read. That one I decided to put on the Rosati's paper bag. And then I am gonna try to maybe match them up, like this one. When I read Tomato Lovers, I Have Known. On the other side, I had a little page that actually had a dish with tomatoes in it. And then today's that I'm gonna read is a dessert. So let me find the page that I did. So on that one, I think I glued it too good, and it's glued to my page. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, I thought it was glued, but I'm back, it's not. So, the one today, the actual ingredient or recipe is monkey bars. So I put it across from that page that I loved with, I think it's Ina Garten, and the Sweet Memories. So let me go ahead and read today's. I feel rushed and a little discombobulated because Jim's waiting for me. About twice a year, we take the convertible and we take a whole day and just go driving everywhere. You know, I shouldn't say everywhere. We take a longer drive, and Jim plans out a whole day where we can take all these back roads up and through other little towns in Wisconsin. And today we're heading towards Milwaukee, along Lake Michigan, and heading up around that way. There was some kind of race car, old vintage race car thing he wanted to stop and see, and maybe even a dinosaur museum. So as we go through and do that today, I might, if I think it's something that you guys want to see, I'll go ahead and record it, and that might be Black Thread Studio tomorrow. Just because usually after I do from Shirley's Cottage on a Saturday, then I spend the rest of Saturday recording or working on whatever I'm gonna share with you guys, and then it usually takes me all day Sunday to upload it. So since I'm not gonna be home sewing today or working in the yard, we're just off having fun and relaxing, I'm gonna see if there's some video that I can take to share with you guys. So you can tune in tomorrow, or by the time it gets uploaded, it might be Monday. Last weekend it literally took me 3 days to upload. It would get stuck, it would get all the way to the end and get stuck, and then I would have to delete it and upload it again, and it literally took like 3 days. So hopefully it won't take that long, and I'll have something to show you by tomorrow night maybe. So anyway, that's what's going on today. Jim and I are going to take a ride, and hopefully I'll share some of that with you. So for right now, we're sitting in my backyard, and we're going to get ready to read from Shirley's Garden. It's not from Shirley's Garden, it's from Shirley's Cottage. So this one is called 6 Words. So I read a feature in last Sunday's paper that took me back to my first high school journalism assignment. Our class was to write a story. When we turned them in, the teacher said, "Good, now cut it in half." We looked at each other like he was crazy, but we did it. We turned them in again. "Good, now cut it in half once more." We learned with that lesson that sometimes less is more. The piece in the paper I read last week was titled 6 Words. If my teacher was around today, he would have a field day. 6 Words was inspired by Ernest Hemingway. He was asked to write a story in just 6 words. He wrote, "For sale, baby shoes, never worn." He wrote, "For sale, baby shoes, never worn." It is said that he called it his best work. As a result, authors and writers from various venues were asked to submit their 6 words. They went into magazines. A book, 6 Words Memoirs, was written. Now there is a website for anyone to try their hand at it. Try Googling. I have read dozens of 6 wonders this week. Hemingway's is by far the tearjerker. I love this life story. Not quite what I expected. Ain't it the truth? My husband was a man of few words. We would tease that he didn't say much, but we sure remembered everything he said. Now that I know about 6 words, he is my favorite author. This is my favorite story. His response to, "Do you love me?" was, "Yep, or I wouldn't be here." And he lived up to those 6 words. I'm sorry. I have to change my ways before I can attempt a story in 6 words. I have been counting my fingers and 2 thumbs all week. I don't even know if I can find a recipe with 6 ingredients. I give up. I'm sorry. That just got to me because my dad was a man of so few words, but when he did say something, yeah, you knew that he meant it, and it stuck with you. So anyway, the other thing that hit me while I was reading this was 2 things. I kind of posted, I haven't talked about this yet, but I did post, so sorry, I posted on Instagram like a week ago something that I've been wanting to talk to you guys about in Black Thread Studio, and that is last like March, April, and I will do this, I'm working on it. Last March, April, I've always had in my mind that I wanted to write like a little story for it came up when Hadley was born, that I wanted to write a little story for her. There's been a myth, rumors, stories, folklore about a Lake Ripley monster in our beloved Lake Ripley in Cambridge, Wisconsin. And I haven't talked about it yet with you guys because I'm really looking still for the article that my mom wrote that was about the Lake Ripley monster. She actually interviewed one of the town folk that was my sister Deb's neighbor, Raj, and who's I believe himself and his dad claimed to have seen the Lake Ripley monster. My brother as well has claimed to see things on the lake, and so anyway, it's just kind of an interesting story, and I know I'm getting off on a tangent, but whenever we would jump into swim or water ski, we would, say, "Watch out for the Lake Ripley monster." So anyway, I kind of got off on a tangent, but my point was that last year when I finally wrote the story during the pandemic when we had to stay home when I was off work, and it's called Hadley and Reed and the Lake Ripley Monster, and I was so excited about it, and now I know where my mom got this from. When I called her, I said, "Mom, I have to read this to you. I did this," and she said, "Okay, now cut it in half." I was like, "What?" This is my story. I don't know how I'm going to cut it in half. It was so descriptive and fun and playful, and it was I don't know, like, written out like 3 pages. Anyway, I kept calling her and reading it to her, and she kept saying, "Okay, now cut it in half again. Now cut it in half again." So I finally ended up with just a short little snippet that I'm happy with, and it was from my mom saying to cut it in half. Now cut it in half again. So someday soon I am going to share with you my story, my little kid story that I did, Hadley and Reed and the Lake Ripley Monster. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it, but I have decided that I'm doing a quilt pattern and a cross-stitch sampler pattern that go along with the story that I hope to market and sell sometime within this next year. There's a longer story about it, but I'll get into that on a Black Thread Studio. So that hit me reading this column. And the other thing was when she brought up Ernest Hemingway, that's where my daughter Paige got Hadley's name. I believe one of Ernest Hemingway's wives' name was Hadley, I believe. So anyway, without further ado, and after all that little chit chat, let's get on to the 10 ingredient monkey bars. This is what you'll need. I know I always say it sounds so good. This is how good this one is. You know how my mom usually writes enjoy at the end? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She has 6 enjoys at the end. and I'm going to read every one of them. So here we go. Oh, by the way, this one was from July 3rd, 2008. Okay, 1 large ripe banana smashed or mashed. I said smashed, she said mashed. 1/2 cup each sugar and brown sugar. 1/2 cup of softened butter or margarine. 1/2 teaspoon each of vanilla and cinnamon. 1 egg. 1 cup of flour. 1 teaspoon baking powder, and 1/2 cup of chopped nuts. Beat together the banana, the sugars, butter, cinnamon, vanilla, and then the egg. Then you add the flour and the baking. She put baking soda, but on top she has baking powder. Which one do you think it is? Baking powder? I'm going to say baking powder. Add flour and baking powder and stir until well blended. Spread in well-greased 13 by 9-inch baking pan. Bake at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. Sprinkle with nuts. This makes 30 squares. Kids love them, love them. Enjoy, 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 enjoy. That's what she said. So that was 10 ingredient monkey bars, and that was from Shirley's Cottage. And that one was called 6 Words. I really liked that one, Mom. Kind of threw me for a loop that you brought Dad in there, but I liked it. So, okay, you guys, Jim and I are off. I saw him walk through the house, and he's loading up the little fun toy that we play around with. It is one of my favorite things to do, is to drive around with him. We usually just drive around locally at night if it's nice out, just to relax and get out of the house and go look at all the neighborhoods. Maybe I should do that with you one time. In Elm Grove, it's an older little town here. They have the really nice old houses, probably from like 1930s, and the yards are just absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But this time we're venturing out. We're headed up a little bit into Milwaukee, and I don't know what else Jim has planned. He just said pack some nuts and an apple, because he said, I know how cranky you get if you get hungry. I said, aren't we stopping? Aren't you going to get me lunch? And he said, yeah, but I just want to make sure that you have some snacks in the car. So I'm going to go grab my snacks, and we're off. If I have anything to share with you, I certainly will record it and put that up tomorrow. And I hope you guys have a really good day. I do apologize. I know this seemed a little but I think because I know Mr. James is waiting for me. So have a good day. Thanks for sitting out in my yard and listening to From Shirley's Cottage. And I hope you guys have a great Saturday. And I hope I either see you tomorrow, fingers crossed, uploaded, or just keep watching for the next video, because it's a coming. Okay? Thanks. Have a good day. Bye-bye.